What kind of a god would you be? Would you be one of peace, gentle, perfect, one who guides by an invisible hand? Or would you burn it all down just to see what happens? Would you be kind and nurturing, or capricious and cruel? A ringmaster more concerned with feeding their own delights over everything else? Most of us already know the answer to this. Because when people get to play God, in a sandbox, in a simulation, in a game, chaos, mischief, and tyranny usually win. When Maxis released the SIMS in 2000, they built the game as a people simulator. A digital dollhouse where players could build homes and orchestrate everything. No one marketed it as a theological treatise. That was never the purpose. Yet, 2 decades later, as we navigate lives increasingly mediated by algorithms, the SIMS emerge as an unwitting mirror of divine architecture. The players, us, hover invisible above the neighborhood, an omnipotent creator who can pause time, rewrite needs, and delete a sim with a click. The Sims themselves chase happiness in a world bound by code. This setup doesn't just entertain, it kind of mirrors the structure of creation itself, where an all-powerful entity shapes limited beings who chase meaning inside a controlled system. The hypothesis that we are likely living in a simulation finds its crudest, most honest demo here. Not on some supercomputer, but on our childhood PC. Because the Sims aren't real, they never were, yet they feel real enough to break your heart when they die in a kitchen fire you started for a screenshot. We are perhaps just a more polished save file, our grief and our triumphs rendered in slightly higher fidelity. But every god begins somewhere, and in the Sims, we all start as the one we wish existed. If there is indeed a god up there, this is probably what they are least likely to be. Because this is the god we want, the benevolent watcher, the cosmic caretaker. This is the player who starts a sim save with the express intention of just playing. No cheats, no exploits, no setting the house on fire just to see the flames. We hover, zooming in close on the minutiae. A sim brewing coffee at dawn, whispering secrets to a houseplant. Dancing alone in the kitchen. It's curiosity that pushes us, wants us want to observe. And this is how, I assume, most of us started. This is how most creation stories begin. A single entity watching, content, and wanting to nurture without interfering. But that doesn't last, does it? It's never enough. Over time, this corrodes, and what seems kind can easily be twisted into something cruel. Because is inaction evil? Boston simulators, in turn, have us as a thought experiment. What if our wars and weddings are mere data points in some cosmic quest for understanding? In the same way we once watched, eyes wide, as our dear Sims cried for a few days because a family member had died, knowing full well we had the power to undo it all with one click. Our God could be just the same. I have a problem where my first instinct whenever I play a new game is to break it quietly. To find that little edge, the bug, the thing it doesn't want me to do, and see if I can. And this is not just a me thing, this is basic human nature. Once we have established that we have control, that we are indeed the driving force, we want more than anything to push that. And slowly this hardens into calculation. We entirely drop the illusion of benevolence. They cease to be tiny people and become props, test subjects, digital guinea pigs to fiddle with. Simulation theory amplifies this to a cosmic scale. What if our universe is a petri dish, the Big Bang a reset, black holes error logs, pandemics, economic collapses, evolutionary dead ends, all dialed in to measure resilience, adaptability, and the breaking point of sentience? What if free will is nothing but randomized seed for better data? The experimenter isn't malicious, or rather, their malice is clinical. The Sims we are experimenting on aren't real to us. They are variables, puppets to tug and pull and watch how they break. And maybe, in a similar way, we are the Sims to our gods. But variables get boring, which leads us to the final type of player, the one we all become. The mask slips. This god logs in for the lulz, the chaos agent who thrives on entropy. In The Sims, this is almost the normal, the default. It's removing pool ladders mid-swim, igniting fireworks in nurseries. Forums overflow with these tales, not as cautions, but as badges of deviant creativity. There is very little nurture or care left. The game becomes a sandbox of sadism. Winning is through maximized misery, up-level to our reality, and simulation theory turns nightmarish. What if everything we are, tsunamis, scandals, shootings, what if they are all just some divine check this out moment to share on a celestial Discord chat? I think if we were to truly, really look up into the face of God, the last thing we would find is any kind of grand intelligent design. I think what we will hope to find is an impassive, uncaring observer. I think what we might just find is a bored, capricious entity who just wants to be entertained. Finally, the void. This god isn't watching, isn't testing or tormenting. They are gone. In The Sims, it's the abandoned saves, worlds built then forgotten. Sims cycle eternally, eating, sleeping, decaying, without oversight. No player means no purpose, just code grinding down until the power fails. In simulation terms, this is the likeliest, because billions of Sims spawned, most ditched mid-run. Our creator sparked the cosmos, set rules, then all tapped away. Stars burn out, species vanish, not design, not intention, just specs in a dusty server. The cruelty is absence. The cruelty is just how obvious and plausible this sounds. But long before The Sims hooked us with total omnipotence, we practiced godhood on smaller scales. The Sims, Talking Tom, Nintendogs, and every Witcher NPC we have promised to help but never did. These weren't just games. They were demos for divinity, of what we ourselves worship daily in temples and churches and mosques. Humanity has always held a paradoxical relationship with the concept of God. We are both desperate for their presence and terrified of their attention. We look up searching for reason, for logic and justifications, and rarely find any. Because haven't we learned? We have been on the other side of this exchange. We have been God. That there is no reason. It's like chucking a fistful of sand into the wind and trying to find a great design. The Sims reveal an uncomfortable truth about creation, that perhaps the ultimate act of godhood, of divinity, isn't to build but to leave. And no matter how plaintively dear Tom mewed, or how pitifully our Nintendogs whimpered, or how loudly our Sims burned, in that moment, we just didn't care. As Bo Burnham puts it from God's perspective, You are not my children. You are a bad game of Sims. If you did enjoy this video, please consider liking and thank you for watching.